So I think I saw a decent update recently when it comes to Bittensor, and no, it's not about the price of TAO, which I'll talk about later. However, even though nothing I say is financial advice, it's actually regarding a post that Mark Jeffrey, not to be confused with actor Mark Wahlberg, by the way, right? But I'm just saying, Mark Jeffrey is a partner at the Bittensor Fund, and he made a post saying how, again, not that long ago, how there was 10,000 human machine learning engineers that are now mining Bittensor via something called Crunch. Which, if we take a look at Bittensor, what is one of the two main focuses that they have, arguably? It's machine learning, right? The other one is, of course, AI. So if I take a look at something like this, isn't this pretty cool? 10,000 machine learning engineers. I mean, that's really impressive, let alone like even 1,000. I don't have that many friends on Facebook. That's a lot. And if we think about it, like a stadium, like if we think about the idea of just 10,000 people, that's a lot right there. I mean, some stadiums, of course, it can house like way more, but I'm just saying 10,000 is a lot. So if Mark Jeffrey does say that, I do find it pretty cool. This is the way to take a look at it. However, at the same time, if I take a look at Bittensor, people like to tell me, come on, who's going to care about this project? Well, here's the thing. It's not like this is a project I think that could easily just be forgotten about like that, because it's literally one of the most recognizable and popular projects within the niche of machine learning and as well as AI. So it's pretty difficult like that to just kind of leave. It's like, for instance, is it that easy for Shiba Inu to just randomly leave like that or just basically become totally irrelevant? It's pretty difficult just because it's kind of already so ingrained within its niche, right? Which, of course, Shiba Inu is a meme, but I'm just saying that's an example. When it comes to Bittensor, I just kind of feel like it's going to be a little bit hard to just randomly forget about it because the presence within this space, within the niche that it's in, it's just so ingrained like that. Like it's so established already. So yeah, when it comes to Bittensor, I haven't given up. Now, TAO being almost 18 times lower than 3,000 may seem like not such a positive thing, but at the same time, I'm looking to dollar cost average here. I'm not looking to exit. If I'm looking to exit, this would be not such a good thing at all. But at the same time as well, like, I just don't want to exit for fun or just for no good reason. For what though, right? What am I going to do? Just exit because a lot of people are exiting? That's just not my mentality. Even if TAO goes lower, because I have no intent to exit anyways, I feel like it's all unrealized. If anything, I'm just going to dollar cost average and just bring the average down. That's it. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, this is just my mentality, right? This is just kind of like a diary, basically, of me saying how I feel about this project. But again, that's just how I feel about it. The way I take a look at it is, if I still like the project fundamentally, I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging once a month. That's it. However, of course, when it comes to Bittensor, it's not like it's going to ever become the most popular project out there, but it doesn't really need to anyways. I mean, at the idea of 3,000, by the way, when it comes to TAO, the market cap at that point would actually be around 32 billion. However, that's like actually around 50 billion less than a market cap in which Dogecoin once reached in the year 2021, which was like around 80 billion. And then that market cap again, around 32 billion, that's around 8 billion less than what Shiba Inu reached at one point back in 2021 in terms of market cap, which it reached like around 40 billion. So again, this is not a groundbreaking figure. And the thing is, Bittensor arguably is, I think, doing more cool things, right? Or more revolutionary things than something like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu. This is just my mindset. Now, it's an apples to oranges comparison because they're memes, but I'm just saying, Bittensor is actually trying to make an impact in the world of AI, right? And that's a pretty big narrative as of right now, but it's just when it comes to this space, the sentiment overall isn't doing the best. So then something like Bittensor, it just got caught up in that, and then also we see the sentiment go down. But if anything, you know what, if things are low and I'm actually a fan of the project, I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging because that's just my mindset. I treat it like a marathon. It's not a sprint for me. Now, granted though, when it comes to something like Bittensor, sometimes people like to say, well, they don't update that much. Well, again, sometimes updates don't really come so often. It's not like there could just be one that is so revolutionary that happens multiple times a day. But you know what? when it comes to Bittensor, I feel like the update sometimes it has more meaning, right? It has more kind of substance. Now, some projects out there, they do genuinely have updates every day or multiple times a day, which is awesome. But also some other projects out there, they don't have that going on, which, to each their own, right? Sometimes a project just isn't necessarily built for that type of stuff. However, when it comes to Bittensor, I like the serious vibe of the project. I also like some memes, for instance, like Toshi, right? Which is a meme on Base, and Base is Coinbase's layer 2. But besides that point, but I'm just saying, I also sometimes like projects like this too that feel a bit more serious because I do like the narrative when it comes to AI and as well as machine learning, and Bittensor is heavily focused on that. So personally for me, I'm not going to be able to know how long I'm going to have to wait. There's no way. But I'm going to be waiting. That's it. Because just my mindset is, I knew that I'm going to have to wait for quite a while anyways. Do I know exactly how long I'm going to have to wait? No, there's no way I can know that. Even if I, drew some random triangles on a price chart, how am I going to be able to know that, right? There's just no way. I'm just drawing at that point, I feel like sometimes. So for what? I'd rather just believe in a project that I like fundamentally and just hold, and that's it. So when it comes to Bittensor, really, yeah, I feel like it might have to be a long journey anyways, so I'm not going to be complaining if I feel like it's going to probably have to be a long journey anyways. It's like me complaining that a marathon takes quite a while. Well, yeah, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Sometimes that's the way I take a look at it. But at least I see some updates, and when I do see some of these updates when it comes to Bittensor, it actually has substance, so I do like seeing that. And again, seeing what Mark Jeffrey not too long ago posted, again, I'm going to just repeat this, saying how supposedly there was 10,000 human machine learning engineers that are now mining Bittensor via Crunch. I thought that was just pretty cool at the end of the day. And when I saw this post, like there was a picture of a lobster. So I think that's pretty cool. Is that a sign of maybe of things to come? Who knows, right? There's a hypothetical altcoin season. I celebrate at Red Lobster or something like that, or I eat some lobster in general. Well, I mean, who knows? I'm just saying. I'm just joking though, but who knows, right? Maybe that's a sign. No, I'm just joking, but I'm saying has nothing to do with this. But yeah, when it comes to something like Bittensor, I'm still waiting, still holding, and that's pretty much about it. So yeah, beyond that, I can't really do anything else. But if there's updates when it comes to Bittensor, I'm going to talk about it because at a time like this, when there's a big pullback, what I want to do is be more focused because usually at a time like this, people are leaving. People are averse to entering into this space. But usually what happens when the charts are low, I like it for dollar cost averaging. So I'm not going to be complaining. I'm just going to still be waiting. That's it. Because even if I just take a look at an example, like let's say Bitcoin, right? Who's happier holding Bitcoin right now? Those who got Bitcoin at over 100 grand, or those who got Bitcoin at like $2 or $5 or even $10 or whatever, right? Or even 100 or even just 1,000. I feel like anything just below even 10,000, they're going to be a lot happier instead of ones that are holding, or should I say that first entered into Bitcoin from over 100 grand until right now, right? So the thing for me is just historically, it feels like the lower someone got Bitcoin historically and still holding right now, the happier it seems to be in some cases. So why would it be any different when it comes to other projects? Like, for instance, if let's say something like TAO is low, well, isn't that kind of the point for me to dollar cost average when things are low, preferably? I mean, I can't control that, right? There's no way, but preferably, why not? That's sometimes the way you take a look at it, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything. But that's just kind of my mindset, though, which is why I'm still dollar cost averaging. But yeah, besides that point, I'm still going to be waiting. That's it. I'd rather prepare than chase later on. I don't want to chase the wave. I want to prepare for the wave. But that's just kind of the analogy that I have. However, I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.